after the fight, Shakur Stevenson got in the ring, and he and O'Shaquie, who has called Shakur out on this very show, among other places, jawed at each other for everyone to hear. Later, O'Shaquie talked about what happened. Check it out. You think, even though Shakur is perceived as significantly better than O'Shaquie, that O'Shaquie's style presents Shakur problems, or no?
Honestly, from what I noticed from the fight with Ford, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they have a good talk, good back and forth exchange. It's good for the sport of boxing, good hype, but 10-pound difference. I think that both guys need to focus on what's in their path and what's in their time frame when it comes to their weight divisions, rather than trying to stir up a pot that's not going to be.
Agreed.
Big fight stuff like that, but I mean, I think Shock deserved it, bro. I shared the ring with Shock before Shock got up. And I feel Shock is real good, and I mean, I want to see it. It'll be great. But it's 2 minutes getting on. I know.
The tension between Shakur Stevenson and O'Shaquie Foster is boiling over, and trust me, it's not just hype. Max Bredman just broke down a raw, heated altercation that proves this rivalry is absolutely legitimate. This isn't just a fight, it's personal, and the stakes are climbing higher than ever.
I like Shakur Stevenson, who's a southpaw, super hard to hit, right? Is not always everyone's biggest payday, does not get shouted out. I'm hearing everyone shouting out.
Coach O'Shaquie Edwards isn't holding back, calling Kellerman the bigger, more skilled fighter. He says moving up in weight would be a nightmare for Foster. Edwards ranks Shakur among boxing's absolute elite, making it clear. You don't jump divisions until you've completely cleared out your own. That's a bold statement.
26, but he's bigger than he is. And Shakur is a little more talented than O'Shaquie. I'm not saying O'Shaquie can't beat him. I don't want to do that, after this great victory that he has, but that's a tough fight to move up 10 pounds and fight a dude that's bigger than you and a little bit more and more talented. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. Shakur Stevenson might be the best fighter in the world. You know what I mean? He's that good. If I was O'Shaquie Foster, I would fight Navarrete, but he's a gun. I'm sure he wants to fight Shakur. Maybe they got some kind of history. Who am I to say? But I think that I would clear out the division that I'm in, and before I jump 2 weight classes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not meant to jump weight classes like that. I think it's overrated anyway.
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Coach Stephen Edwards paints a picture of O'Shaquie Foster as a physical powerhouse, a guy who doesn't need one-punch knockouts. Instead, Foster grinds you down, wearing opponents out with relentless pressure and sustained damage. He's dangerous in those longer exchanges, the kind that break wills.
A puncher. But I think he's very, very physically strong, and he has like them hard hands. Some guys got like explosive hands where they hit you and they put you to sleep. And then some guys got kind of hard hands where they don't have the highest KO percentages, but when they hit you, you feel it, and they like beating you up, and they let you know like you don't want to keep taking this all night. I think he has those kind of hands. I looked at Scooter's face, and he was like discouraging him. He was like busting them up a little bit. I would not favor O'Shaquie Foster against Shakur, but I'm not going to disrespect O'Shaquie Foster and say he can't.
Now listen to this part. Floyd Schofield Jr. completely dismissed a Stevenson-Foster matchup, claiming Shakur * always prefers smaller opponents. He suggests it's just Stevenson's usual style, part of his calculated approach to the game. Is he right? Or is that just a convenient narrative?
I mean, I know Shakur want to fight somebody smaller than him. Nothing wrong with that. That's the Shakur magic. That's like how a lot of people do it these days.
Teddy Atlas, ever the strategist, says fights come down to styles. He sees Foster as a versatile boxer, capable of switching between pressure and range with killer timing and accuracy, especially from long distance. Those clean, precise shots, they could be a problem for anyone. And get this.
Fights, I think that's part of it. Foster's the kind of guy, he can be a straight up boxer. He'll look to press, he'll look to go into. He's a well-rounded fighter. He can fight inside, outside, but he's predisposed a little bit to fighting well, or maybe better, on the outside, where he throws everything nice. He's a sharpshooter. He throws nice, straight, short punches, concise punches, accurate punches. He's got that kind of style.
Atlas continued, describing Foster as a disciplined, technical master. He's not a volume puncher, but a calculated striker who stays calm and close, picking his shots to the head and body. This isn't just brawling, this is high-level chess. But even with all that skill, the experts are still split.
He's a good, solid, technically, based fighter. Again, everything by the book. Doesn't do anything really where he gets sloppy. He does everything pretty. Even when he gets inside, when he does go inside, he's not throwing a million punches, but he's throwing the right punches. He'll throw the uppercut. He'll try to put a hook with it. He'll go to the body. He'll place shots. He'll throw educated punches.
Bruce Carrington is firmly in Shakur's corner, pointing to his defensive wizardry, size advantage, and complete control inside the ring. While Foster's ambition and sparring experience might make it competitive, Carrington still sees Stevenson as the undeniable favorite. He's just that good.
Shakur kind of got him on that one, honestly. And I like Oshaki, man. I like Oshaki, but I do think that Shakur, he is just. I don't think Oshaki's defensively aware enough to give Shakur too much trouble. Shakur, he's just on a cruise control now when it comes to the guys that he's been fighting. And on top of that, he's way bigger than Oshaki, bro. I did not think he was that much bigger than him. He stepped in the ring, I was like, oh snap. That was crazy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think Shakur's gonna lose that fight. I think Oshaki, he's being very ambitious in this fight, and I also think that in the sparrings that they had, he might have found certain things in those sparrings that's gonna make the fight interesting. I think so, but it's been a long time since he.
Carrington doubled down, saying Stevenson handles Foster comfortably. He highlighted Shakur's calm demeanor, surgical ring IQ, and ability to dictate distance. Stevenson's calculated style, he argues, would make it nearly impossible for Foster to find answers or seize control. A complete mismatch.
See Oshaki winning that fight as of right now.
They're two chess masters, right? Shock can play chess extremely well too.
He can.
Is that just you're not gonna out Shakur though? At that game.
Yeah, he's probably the most patient guy that I've ever seen in the ring. And then he a lot of his moves are calculated. All of his moves I feel like are calculated. I think Shakur just doesn't have devastating power, but if he did, he would be the full package. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the only thing that he might be lacking in terms of this, because he's decent fighting it inside, very well fighting mid-range, and has long distance as well too. His distance control is great. Yeah, man, I just don't see in this matchup him having much.
Bernie Thaw Boxer agrees, calling Shakur Stevenson far from average. He praises his elite boxing IQ and technical prowess, acknowledging he's not a knockout artist. Stevenson's true strength, Bernie says, is his defensive mastery, making opponents miss completely. You simply can't hit him clean.
Is not your average fighter. He's a great fighter,
Definitely not your average fighter. Definitely not a Crawford though.
Not a Crawford?
Come on, man. Look at the KO ratio.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. The IQ, the level of boxing ability and skill that he has, that he uses.
Okay.
Shock's a good fighter.
You said every way. So I had to throw it in there. Sorry.
No. We know he's not a knockout puncher. We know that.
But IQ, they match up, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying. Far as you ain't gonna beat him. That's what I'm saying. This guy you ain't gonna beat him. Good fight though. If I'm shocked, you know what I'm saying? I just don't see how you gonna beat him. You can't hit him.
You don't see nothing.
You can't hit him.
Swinging that air.
Sean Zadel believes true boxing fans would feast on this high-level, tactical battle. Stevenson is the favorite, but Zadel still sees it as an intriguing chess match, especially with all the tension building up. This isn't just a fight, it's a strategic war waiting to explode.
Watch the fight and watch that chess play out between two chess masters. Shakur would be the favorite in that fight, I think, for sure.
and I would favor him, but it is an interesting fight. It is, and it'd be interesting to see Shakur have to play chess with someone who's a chess master too, and all the animosity and build-up. Before you tell me exactly why it won't happen, though, want to give props to O'Shaquie Foster.
But there's something nobody's talking about. Radio Rahim revealed that Shakur himself sees Foster as a lower-tier opponent, someone he's already handled in sparring. Stevenson was actually frustrated being linked to Foster, feeling it was a step down from what he expected. That's a serious power play.
Keep with the way they were talking, one of his little... He sees this as like a sparring partner he gave some work to. He sees him as the kind of guy he can tell to go fight somebody else, another one of his juniors, another one of his little ends, that he won't get past. And it's not in my... The fact that you're even talking about him in the breath with me is what he was mad about. The fact that the kid's got some point that you did promise him a fight if he got through this hurdle, and he actually went over there, fought the guy, and got through the hurdle. He called your bluff. Yeah. And like I say, you know you ain't doing it. No, the money won't be there for that fight. Yes, I'd love to see it. It'd be interesting. I mean, but am I dying to see it? No. I'm not dying to see that fight. And I think in a way, Shakur, not even in a way, I think Shakur is right. Like, he is better than Foster. Foster maybe can get better. I don't know if he can get that good, though.
Then out of nowhere, Ryan Garcia threw his hat in the ring. He's openly stated he'd be willing to step in and fight Shakur Stevenson if the negotiations line up. A ton of money on the table, a ton of hype. Suddenly, this potential matchup eclipses everything else.
I don't know, it's going to be very difficult to be smaller than Shakur and coming up and beating him. Because you got to like put like some kind of like just that dense body weight and just physical strength on him to just complete. If it's really hard to outbox him. So O'Shaquie Foster could box his ass off, but I don't know if he could box at the level of being able to outbox Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different level of boxing.
Shakur Stevenson, never one to back down, is just as interested in Ryan Garcia, but not without questioning his consistency. He believes he has all the tools to take control, no matter which version of Garcia shows up. That's a bold claim from a fighter who rarely gets hit.
Down a fight for $100 million?
Yeah, I actually would. I do respect that in him. I think that he just knows it's his time to call it. I will say, though, his competitive nature, that might bring him back. If he sees me running this up, he might want to try to challenge the young bull. I ain't gonna...
Ryan Garcia, however, pushed back hard on the idea of Stevenson being boxing's absolute best. He argues that while Shakur gets results, he doesn't overwhelm opponents like the sport's true elite monsters. That's a direct challenge to Stevenson's dominance and style.
Garcia is somebody that comes in there, you never know which version of him is going to show up. So if the good version of him show up, he gets spanked. If the bad version of him show up, he gets...
Robert Garcia broke down the potential clash. Ryan's speed and power are his edge, needing a high pace and a stoppage to win. Stevenson, on the other hand, needs distance control, sharp jabs, and counters. Robert slightly favored Ryan, but it would be a razor-thin margin.
But Ryan Garcia got to understand one thing that's very important. I'm not Devin Haney. I'm not Devin Haney.
How are you different than Devin Haney?
With all due respect to Devin Haney, he got his game, but my game is at a higher level. My defense is way better. I could stand there in front of guys and defend myself.
Sergio Mora sees things differently, highlighting Garcia's relatively limited movement against Stevenson's blinding speed and elusiveness. Stevenson's experience and defensive genius are key advantages, painting him as a confident, highly skilled fighter with unstoppable momentum. But the biggest fight on everyone's mind. Adeladipo says Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis at 135 pounds is the most anticipated matchup in boxing, the one fans have waited years to see.